The morning sun had barely touched the rooftops when the market women began their chatter. Whispers spread from one corner to another like the smell of freshly fried okara drifting through the air. They spoke of the man named James and the trouble brewing in his home. People said his household was like a pot of soup, half sweet, half bitter. He had two wives, but one of them was known far and wide for her wicked heart. James was a hard-working farmer, respected in the village for his honesty. His farm stretched wide, with yams, maize, and cassava growing in neat rows. Years ago, he married his first wife, Amanda. She was quiet, gentle, and never raised her voice. Her cooking was the kind that made people forget their worries, and she kept her home clean and peaceful. Together, they had two children, a boy and a girl, who were well-mannered like their mother. But after a few years, James decided to take a second wife. Some said it was because he wanted more children. Others whispered that it was because his mother insisted, saying a man of his wealth should have more than one wife. And so Juliet came into the picture. At first, Juliet seemed like a blessing. Her beauty turned heads, and her laughter filled the air like music. James was proud to introduce her to friends and family. But beauty is not the same as goodness. As days turned to weeks, and weeks to months, Juliet's true nature began to show. She was quick to anger and slow to forgive. She was jealous of Amanda's place as the first wife and did everything to make her life miserable. Juliet mocked her cooking, insulted her children, and often whispered lies into James's ears to turn him against her. If Amanda prepared pounded yam for dinner, Juliet would sneer and say, "Why do you eat this dry food when I can make you something better?" If Amanda was wearing a new wrapper, Funk would complain that James was wasting money on her instead of buying things for her own needs. It didn't take long before the peaceful home turned into a place of tension. The children stopped playing freely because Juliet's sharp voice always scolded them for little mistakes. Even James began to change. The poisonous words Juliet planted in his mind made him doubt Amanda. Sometimes he would shout at her for no reason, while Juliet would watch with a sly smile. One rainy afternoon, Amanda was preparing soup when Funk stormed into the kitchen. "You call this soup?" Juliet said, lifting the pot lid and sniffing. "No wonder my husband complains he loses his appetite after eating your food. If you want to feed pigs, at least don't waste good meat on it." Amanda's eyes watered, but she didn't answer. She had learned that silence was safer. But Juliet wasn't satisfied with the silence. She wanted to see pain. She grabbed a handful of pepper and threw it into the soup, ruining the taste completely. Then she went out, humming, leaving Amanda to clean the mess. The village began to notice. One evening, James's younger brother came to visit and found Amanda sitting alone under a mango tree, her face pale. He asked what was wrong, but she only shook her head. That night, he heard Juliet shouting at her, calling her useless and old. Soon, Juliet began a new trick, pretending to be kind in front of James while secretly tormenting Amanda when no one was watching. If Amanda made a mistake, Juliet would quickly run to James, her voice trembling with fake sadness. "Brother James, I don't want to complain, but your first wife is treating me badly. She hides food from me and the children, and she even called me names." James, blinded by her beauty and soft voice, believed her. He scolded Amanda and told her to change. But life has a way of turning the truth to light. One day, James had to travel to a neighboring village to buy seeds for the planting season. He left early in the morning, telling his wives to manage the home in peace. But halfway down the road, he realized he had forgotten the list of seeds at home. He turned back quietly, not wanting to lose more time. As he approached the compound, he heard voices loud and harsh. Juliet's voice was sharp like a knife. "You think you're better than me because you came here first? You and your useless children. I will make sure James throws you out. Then this house will be mine alone." Amanda's voice trembled. "Juliet, I have done nothing to you. Why do you hate me so much? We are both wives to the same man. We can live in peace." "Peace?" Juliet laughed bitterly. "I don't want peace. I want you gone." James stood frozen by the doorway, his heart pounding. Juliet's voice had no sweetness now, only cruelty. He stepped inside and saw Amanda standing near the wall, clutching her wrapper, while Juliet towered over her with a wooden spoon in hand. Juliet. James's voice roared like thunder. Juliet turned and froze. She tried to smile, but it was too late. The mask had fallen. That night, James called both wives and the elders of the village. He told them everything he had heard. The elders looked at Juliet with disappointment. One of them, an old woman named Mama Grace, shook her head. A home cannot stand wickedness. Two wives can live together if they have respect for each other. But you, Juliet, have planted hatred where there was peace. Juliet tried to defend herself, but the elders had seen enough. They warned her that if she continued her wicked ways, she would bring curses upon herself. From that day, James kept a closer eye on his home. He stopped listening to Juliet's lies and began treating Amanda with the kindness she deserved. Juliet, realizing her power over him was broken, became quieter, but her heart did not change overnight. It took months before the air in the house felt lighter. Amanda, though hurt, forgave for the sake of the children. She continued to cook, clean, and care for everyone without bitterness. And slowly, even Juliet began to understand that peace was better than constant war. But the village would never forget her name. Whenever a woman tried to stir trouble between co-wives, people would whisper, "Don't be like Juliet, the wicked co-wife." Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.